Women in Glasgow are grappling with a deepening safety crisis and what's been called a shocking rise in gender-based violence. According to figures from the Safe Glasgow Partnership, instances of domestic abuse and rape have increased by more than 40%, and sexual assault in the city has risen by 28% in just 1 year. Meanwhile, charity bosses have told STV News they're stretched to breaking point. Caitlin Hutchison has more.
Paige's history of gender-based violence took an extreme toll on her mental health.
I stopped being able to go to work and eventually I stopped being able to leave the house. I couldn't even take my rubbish out. You're constantly hearing about the things that happen. I don't think I've ever met a woman who hasn't been attacked in some way, whether it's like verbal or physical or sexual.
But she says this women-only self-defence class has given her her life back as she learns to verbally assert and physically protect herself.
Step back! I'm not scared anymore. Like, can't believe that. It's like as a woman to not feel scared alone at night walking home. I feel cautious, but I'm no longer walking like huddled with my keys in my hand, like the classic one, or like, you know, like gripping my bag and thinking like, are my laces tied tight enough? Am I going to be able to run if something happens? No, I don't feel like that at all now.
So headbutt, hammer, elbow maybe to the neck.
However, while the skills they're learning give the women here confidence, they know their safety outside of this room isn't guaranteed. And that's exactly why they come.
The area that I stay in is quite safe, but the town itself, it can be quite dodgy. I did have some situations where I was threatened, especially with people under influence.
The police presence could be like a little bit more maybe on the streets, especially at night. When there's football matches or there's marches in town, then you see plenty of police presence. The rest of the time, it can be really hard to come by.
It's quite scary of like what they're seeing on the news constantly. Andrew Tate stuff, I think it's been normalised to demonise women a little bit.
Calls are mounting for urgent action on women's safety as gender-based violence surges across Glasgow. Rape reports are up 41%, sexual assaults up 28%, and with domestic abuse also rising sharply, frontline charities say they're overwhelmed.
In the last year, Amina has supported over 1,700 calls. We do not have enough caseworkers to deal with the demand. Certainly our casework service has had to shut down its waiting list several times because caseworkers are completely overrun at capacity.
Welcome back, colleagues.
The issue has been dubbed a deepening crisis by councillors, discussed at a recent meeting in the city chambers.
We need real investment in frontline services. We need local education that tackles misogyny and a dedicated policing unit to deal with the violence against women and girls head on.
I think we need to be absolutely clear. The threats to women's safety aren't about police numbers or CCTV operators. It's men's behaviour.
These are chilling statistics. We recognise that the work is being done, but we've also got to recognise it's not enough because the data tells us it is not enough.
Police Scotland says tackling violence against women and girls remains one of their top priorities, while the Scottish Government says it's committed to supporting frontline services with an additional £2.4 million and working to make public spaces safer for women. But for those here, real safety won't come from promises. It'll come from practical action. Caitlin Hutchison, STV News in Glasgow.